We now know Kentucky's SEC basketball schedule. We're going to break it down. How do we feel? Tough stretches, must-win games. We knew the opponents. Now we know where it all lies on the schedule. We're going to break that down on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer and editor over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI. Joined, as always, by my co-host, Carson Nash, who declared before we press record that it is not quite a hat backwards day. We're saving that for tomorrow, one day closer to the weekend. Carson, it's Wednesday. We don't usually record on Wednesday. It's between Tuesday and Thursday. So you're usually in a much better mood on Thursday than Tuesday. How do we lie on Wednesday compared to Tuesday?
I have a Thursday attitude on a Wednesday today, Andrew.
Okay.
That's because I'm looking forward to this weekend so much.
Yes, we have a big concert. It's gonna be, it's just gonna be a hectic weekend for the boys.
Big concert, and we have a good buddy getting married as well.
Yes, our buddy Wilmore. Shout out to Wilmore getting married. Congrats to him. Yes, and happy for him, happy for them. The GOAT. Best of luck in their marriage endeavors. Carson's also getting married to the game.
Oh, already been. Said my vows a while ago.
Have been for a while. But Carson, let's get right into this. So what we're going to talk about, we'll start with tough stretches, because I think that's really what we learned from this. You learn the tough stretches. We knew the opponents. We knew Arkansas is coming to Lexington. We have to go to Bama. They have to come here. We knew all this, but we didn't know how is it going to fall stretches wise. So Carson, what is the toughest stretch on this SEC schedule to you?
To me, it lies January 28th through February 4th. It has a 4th/5th, so I'm not really sure what that means.
Well, it probably means Tuesday or Wednesday, because you know how there's
so it's like a flex option, basically.
It's gonna be Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay, that makes sense. Then I was gonna say we're playing late. No, but because you get at January 28th, you go on the road, you go play at Tennessee. That's always a really hard place for us to play.
Yeah.
Even though we were successful there last year.
Yes.
And then you come home on that Saturday, and the Tennessee game's a Tuesday night game, which sucks. Because I'd never liked those games. And Tuesday nights seem to be where we normally struggle. And then going to play down in Knoxville, that's just not fun.
Yeah.
Then Saturday, Coach Cal comes back. February 1st, Arkansas comes back to Rupp. And so that's going to be a tough game, and just a very built up game. And all the emotions are going to be there. And then you end off that stretch with at Ole Miss. And I think Ole Miss could be a sleeper team. They've been good in the past. They have good Coach Chris Beard. So after all those emotions, you get to go on the road on that Tuesday or Wednesday and go to Ole Miss. So I think that stretch is probably, for me, the most challenging, in my opinion.
Agreed. And if you take it a step further, you have, you go to the game before, and it's Kentucky at Vandy. I think perhaps we might be making an appearance.
It's been a while. It's been a while since Kentucky's played at Vandy on a Saturday. So yeah, your boy is probably going to be in attendance.
Yeah, shout out Griff. We're coming, baby. We're staying with you. So
yeah, he doesn't know yet. He doesn't know yet.
We're breaking news to Griff. You're hosting us. Congrats.
We will be staying at your house.
Yeah, exactly. Congrats. Breaking news. Wildcats Today in your house. But I think am I concerned about Vandy? No. But when you talk about stretches, if you kind of add that Vandy game, and then you add home games against A&M and Alabama, that's a really tough 6-game stretch. Because even though it's Vandy, it's on the road Vandy. If it was at home, we wouldn't even have the conversation. But
yeah,
A&M at home, Bama at home, at Vandy, at Tennessee, Arkansas at home, at Ole Miss.
I tell you what, though, Andrew, that at Vandy is going to be an asterisk, because a Saturday game in Nashville is going to be a whole lot different than a Tuesday night game in Nashville.
Agreed. That's there. I'm not worried about that game. You're right, because that's going to be
a home game.
Rupp Arena South is what you call that. I mean, that's just the reality.
Because I think a lot of people will plan on that to do a weekend trip down there.
Yeah, a lot of smart people.
You know very intelligent people.
Seriously. So to me, I agree with you that that's the toughest stretch, but I think this stretch is also going to be really difficult, and it's a 3-game stretch at Bama, at Oklahoma, Auburn at home. So at Bama, and once again, let's see, that's in February. So, they will have moved past football. They will officially care about their number 1 overall ranked basketball team. And Alabama's going to be good. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. There's no pretending. This is a good basketball team. And Mark Sears is a dog. They did a great job in the portal. Coach Oates continues to find a way to, get players that fit his system at a high level, what he's trying to do with Jasper. And he's done that well, whether in the portal, whether in high school recruiting. And
I didn't realize they took Aiden Holloway.
Yeah, Aiden Holloway's there. That. He came from Auburn. I don't.
He was, but he was also a high-rated player, so you never really know when the breakout ability can be.
And the system at Alabama fits Aiden Holloway well compared to the Auburn system. And and one thing you never see, man, you never see that. You never see players flip from those two schools. I feel bad for that dude.
It's like Kentucky and Louisville.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine if, I'm trying to think of a player. What if DJ Wagner transferred to Louisville this year? Can you imagine his trip
crazy
to Rupp Arena this year?
Buddy, I'll tell you what it would be.
A couple hours.
I'll tell you exactly what it would be. It would be a bad decision.
Well, yeah, no kidding. But I feel bad for that Holloway kid having to go into play when they play against Auburn in Auburn. My gosh, I bet they're going to, with that student section right there, he's not going to have a fun couple hours, I figure. But Oklahoma is going to be a solid team. I don't think they're going to be world beaters. They're not going to be bad. They're going to be a solid team.
And we took their best player.
Yes. And you're playing them on the road. So it's going to be, Kentucky's coming Norman. Whoa, this is, you know what I mean? This is going to be crazy. It's going to be a tough place to play. And I'm sure we'll take a talk about that. What's that?
I think Oklahoma will be just like their football team is going to be in the SEC average.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there. And then you play Auburn at home, and in a game. Listen, you remember the moon landing? Now,
I don't think I was alive for
40 years from that, and then another 200, and that was the last time Auburn won in Rupp Arena. All kidding aside, I don't know the actual. I'm pretty sure they haven't. I'm pretty sure they haven't won in our lifetime. Carson, Auburn hasn't won in Rupp Arena. So, I know that we're talking about a program. That'd be like saying Kentucky hasn't won in Tuscaloosa. They were awful forever. Now they actually have a chance.
Yeah.
Because but that's going to be a game that Auburn, another team that did a good job in the portal, adding needs. They got Broom back, who I think is one of the best players in the conference.
Well, in my opinion, and this goes along the lines of what you just said, I think this year is probably the most talented the SEC has ever been.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at it. Florida's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn and Alabama are going to be top 10 teams, in my opinion. Kentucky's going to be a top 20 team. Ole Miss is going to be pretty good. Texas is solid. Tennessee's great. Arkansas is going to be great. I mean, this is
and I'll tell you a little. I think what goes into that is the NIL being a big thing. I think the SEC the SEC is king. I mean, let's not get that twisted.
Agreed. Texas
and so
State's going to be good.
It's kind of like us just flexing our muscles that we're going to make all of our programs good. I mean, look at the way, even though I hate them, look at the way Tennessee football has been recruiting. Look at all of these teams, Missouri, random teams that weren't normally as good. I mean, Missouri had success prior to joining the SEC. And I think they go to a SEC championship game, or am I tripping?
In football?
Yeah.
They lost to Auburn's team that had the kick six, I think.
Yeah. I know the first year they came in, they were really good. But
I think they were in it. I think Missouri was in it twice in that, in their first couple of years.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact they were in it again. In that they were in it, I think maybe their first year. You're
But
right.
my point was the SEC has always been the best football conference. That hasn't even really been a question.
Yeah, no,
I'm starting to think the SEC as a basketball conference is becoming the best too.
This year, maybe not the best, but my gosh, if it's not the best, it's by minuscule. I wrote an article. I think the SEC is the best conference basketball this season. Big 12 is going to be good. The SEC, the ACC still has Duke and North Carolina. It's going to be solid, but I mean, top to bottom. I mean, like I said, like run through teams that I think could make the
That's
tournament.
what I'm saying. The quality of teams is just there's so many.
Yeah, I mean, Florida makes the tournament. Mississippi State makes the tournament. A&M makes the tournament. Bama makes the tournament. Tennessee makes the tournament. Arkansas makes the tournament. I think Ole Miss makes the tournament. I think South Carolina could make the tournament. Obviously Tennessee. I think Texas, Kentucky, Oklahoma outside chance. Auburn makes the tournament. LSU outside chance. Missouri probably pretty awful again. I mean,
which is nuts because they brought
awful.
that coach in. They brought that coach in, and they went crazy when they had Kobe Brown. And then the next year, they don't win a single conference game.
Yeah, which
does not make sense to me at all.
But I mean, the point here is this conference is going to be great. I mean,
100%.
Chris Beard's going to turn around Ole Miss. I think Texas A&M's always going to be a solid team. Florida, I like that coach over there, Florida. Todd Golden.
Yeah, Todd Golden.
He's great.
And they got a kid who's listed at 7'9" on their roster.
Yeah, Oliver Rios.
Yeah.
I used to see him.
He played at IMG, didn't he?
Yeah, I used to see videos of him. And you know what I never understand? Why would no one take a shot on him?
I know.
If
I was a coach, I'd take that guy.
They added him super late. Like it wasn't like he'd been committed for a year. They added him late. And this dude just cramming on people in practice. And he's not.
You can't guard that. I don't care who you are.
Are you sure it's 7'9"? It was 7'6".
Hey, go on their site. He is listed as 7'9".
Is that possible?
What's the tallest person in the world? The tallest person in the world, I think, if I remember Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, I think they're 8'5" or something like that.
Shout out. All right, let's see. They have this kid listed at 7'9".
Told you.
Oh wow,
he's a monster.
I mean, but the thing about that is, you got to remember but he doesn't look like a stick. You remember that one dude that was super tall? I forget what they called him.
Pingy.
I don't know.
That was his nickname.
But
he was
Rob Bob. That guy, his name was Rob Bob. Remember him? They called him Rob Bob, and he was around this tall, but he had I think muscle and bone issues. This kid he just looks like a normal person. He's just 7'9". He's distributed correctly for a human being. We're going on a random rant here, but that kid, watch out. I don't know why someone didn't take a chance.
I know. I agree.
It would be flat out fun to watch.
Why wouldn't you? You just saw what happened with Zach Edey.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch. It'd be really cool if he was on Kentucky's team. I'd love that.
Oh, me too. I'd say freaking put him in.
You've got the extra scholarship. I don't know. I mean, go get him. Can we go get him now? Let's go down there and drive him. Just bring him back over here and say, "Come with us."
Flip his commitment.
We'll see if you can fit in my Camry. Come on. But
no shot.
No chance. But I mean, I can barely get in there. But there's some other issues there. Looking. So you got any must-win games? I wrote an article this morning, actually exactly about this, and I have 3 must-win games. We've already talked about a couple of them.
Give me yours first, and I'll try to figure out.
My first one is Texas A&M. So to me, I don't think you can call playing Alabama in Tuscaloosa a must-win game. You're going to be playing a top 5 team at their place. It's hard to call that a must-win game. You know what I mean? So to me, the must-win games are games against really good teams that are winnable or solid teams on the road. That's why my 3 must-win games are A&M, Auburn. Those are both home games. And then at I actually have 4 because I forgot about this one. At Mississippi State and at Ole Miss. I think Mississippi State and Ole Miss are going to be very similar teams. They've got Hubbard at Mississippi State. He's going to be, he's just going to be so annoying for so long in a respect way. He's so damn good. And he's when he made that 3, where Reed came down and hit the game winner.
We were up by like 9 points with like
and then
20
he just
seconds
started
left.
jacking up threes.
And I'm on the phone with Cam, and he's ahead of me, unfortunately. And he's like, "Oh, bro, he hit it to tie it." And then I hear him screaming because Reed hit the.
I remember because you called me after, and you were like, "Cam spoiled the game," and I was like, "Man, I remember that." But I mean, I think that games like that, the Mississippi State, Ole Miss type games on the road, okay environments, good basketball teams, those are the ones you got to find a way to win. I'm not going to sit here and say Vandy on the road is a must win. I'm not going to sit here and say that Missouri, wherever we even play Missouri, is that home or where? I forget. I care that little. At Missouri, I'm not going to sit here and say that at Missouri is a must-win game because I think it's pretty expected you should win those. The must-win games are the games that you could drop on the road or at home. And I think getting those marquee home wins against teams like Auburn, Texas A&M, Tennessee when they're in town, Bama when they come to town, those are the games you got to win. So what are the ones you have on the schedule that you get? But like I said, my must-win are at Mississippi State, at Ole Miss, Auburn at home, A&M at home. What are your must-win games?
Yeah, well, if I were just going to say what I was thinking, I would say all of the home games. But I have a couple circled. I think the first SEC game against Florida at home, I think you got to win that one.
Yeah.
Because you always want to start off the SEC well, and they're going to be a good team. So that's a big one.
We started out with them last year, too.
We did.
And we barely won that game in
Bradshaw hit a clutch 3.
Yeah, that was fun, man. That was a fun game.
And then I got Arkansas at home. I think that's a must win because I think that just it would right the ship and propel us. And then I think Tennessee at home too. I think those 3 for me are the biggest ones. And if you want a road game for me that we have to win, I would say at Texas.
Okay, I like that because I think Texas is, in all honesty, a better team, or at least I think Mississippi State is going to be better than Ole Miss. I think that Texas, Mississippi State are going to be pretty close. So I agree.
I think we got a decent home schedule this year.
I agree.
I think the road games are easier than our home games, in my opinion. Other than, at Alabama and at Tennessee, those aren't going to be fun. But I think we got Auburn at home, LSU at home, we got Florida at home. I'm sure we probably go to Florida as well.
I don't think we do, actually.
Oh no, we don't. Yeah, that's huge. Okay.
Yeah, the Swamp.
Yeah, our home games because we got Georgia on the road.
No return trips to Auburn and Florida.
And Florida are huge. Because those are losable games when you go there anytime.
Yes.
And so I think, at Mississippi State, I kind of look as like that's a bigger game, but they lost Tolu Smith, and he was kind of he was their rock.
He was dominant against.
I know Hubbard's going to be a boss, but if you don't have that presence inside to open up those shots for Hubbard, he might not be as good. So Tolu dominated us last year. But
it was just incredible. I'm sitting there watching him tear Bradshaw and all these guys apart, just going, you kidding?
Yeah,
and it's just like
domination.
It's like when you play with Joel Embiid on 2K. You just go down there and you just press the square when you're near the rim and it goes in every time. It was absurd. It was absurd.
It's going to be refreshing to not have that. Remember against A&M at A&M when they had that possession that lasted like 3 minutes long?
They did that multiple times, and it was so funny because that was like our first episode. That was one of that game, and we broke down that game and we said, okay, this isn't rocket science. You can't let them get on the offensive glass. And what did they do? My goodness, they lived on the offensive glass.
They dominated the offensive glass.
Yeah, so that's funny. But I think we're gonna have another episode probably after Jasper News is official. We're obviously going to have football stuff to break down next week, knowing it's almost time for football in the Bluegrass, which is just chill.
Oh man.
And
it's already getting colder. I can feel
it. It is.
I can feel
it is. We were just having the football weather conversation yesterday. We're really getting there. But we're going to predict the record for the Cats in this in conference play. We'll do that probably not next week, but the week after, because we'll have to talk about Jasper next week, a lot of football, and then that week after we'll talk about football, and then we'll break this down as well. Carson,
be a lot more content.
Huh?
I said it'll be a lot more content this time of the year.
Yes,
we'll have basketball updates, football going on.
Well, a lot of good stuff, a lot of fun stuff to talk about. It's no more like who's going to do this, who's going to lead the team. We're really getting into stuff now, which off-season topics are fun, but it's just talking. Now it's happening now. So let us know in the YouTube comments a game in SEC play, a game or two that's a must win, and then what is the toughest stretch in your opinion on this schedule? And
give us 2 must wins. Give us 1 home win and 1
That's
road.
A good one. Yeah, give us a home must win, a road must win, and then what's the toughest stretch on this schedule? And then keep commenting 5 players, or give us a player or 2 on the football team that maybe isn't being talked about enough, but is going to be a huge part of this team's success, because that's what we're going to talk about.
I got one already. Preview tight end Jack Monday.
There it is. We are. You know how we always say we're a pro Bo Allen podcast? We are also a pro Jack Monday podcast.
Yes, 100%. He needed a shout out.
Yes, he deserves one. I'll never forget my first time covering a Kentucky practice in person. It was my first time going to any event since I, started, covering Kentucky athletics. And I walk up. The first thing I see at practice is Jack Monday walking off injured. First thing I see. I told him that when I saw him.
Monday was a baller at Catholic.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, there's no kidding. No kidding. I mean, you give that guy the ball in his hands. I mean, he's shifty, man. He's shifty. But shout out Jack Monday. Shout out Bo Allen. We're always going to get an excuse to do that.
Yeah.
But any other thoughts, Carson, before we call it a day?
No, that's all I got. Everyone get excited for tomorrow's episodes. Like Andrew said, 5 players. Give you a little insight. Chip Trainum broke his hands, so we're going to have some new names in the backfield that we can look out for. Some exciting stuff coming for you guys.
Yeah, Benny Smell, I heard, is going to come back, and he's this new transfer. But no, that's going to Benny Smell. Benny Smell.
Does he smell bad?
Yeah, no, he does.
Instead of breaking tackles, he just doesn't use deodorant.
Yeah, and this is yeah. But that's gonna do it for today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. Once again, we'll be back at you tomorrow to break down this stuff about football. So hope everyone's looking forward to that. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, helps the show a ton. And don't forget, wherever you can find the podcast, we are there. Go check us out there as well if you're ever not in a YouTube mood. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow right here at the Wildcats Today podcast.